final episode of the season, and we end off with a bang, looking back at the season's thrills and spills, and there were plenty. Our top 8 gear themselves up for their race to victory. But nothing could have prepared them for what they faced on race day. This is so exciting. It's the final round of the Extreme Series here at Zwartkops, and Speed Stars is on the grid. Hello and welcome to our final episode of our 3rd season. It is race day, the grand finale. We've got 8 finalists, 6 laps, and 1 speediest star. This is where it's going to happen. Strapped into their race cars, helmets on. It does not get more real than this. And to add to the drama, a little bit of rain as well. But how did we get to this point? It has been a jam-packed season. Let's take a look. We had it all this season. Supersport presenters Julia Stewart and Elmer Smits. Lots of laughs with funny guys Richelieu and Joey Rasdien. Super competitive Blitzbock teammates Kwagga Smith and Justin Geduld. Proteas cricket captain Danae van Niekerk and Bok number 8 Ryan Kankowski. We had glitz and glamour with Sashi Naidu and Zoe Brown. And social media superstars Pigspotter and Emma Sadleir. And we wrap things up with world champion paddler Jenna Ward and singing sensation Jessie Clegg. Talk about a star lineup, but before we got them to go fast, we made sure that they were better and safer drivers with our weekly safety lessons.
How was that position? Pretty good.
We taught them the correct driving positions, opened their eyes to speed and stopping distances, and we showed them how ABS actually works.
I went faster, I braked later, and I still didn't kill anyone.
And why being distracted while driving kills.
Oh, 1 pedestrian down.
Speedstars also loves giving back. And thanks to our sponsors, Volkswagen Driving Academy and Goodyear, Quagga and the Wilderness Foundation each received 10,000 Rand in this season's charity challenges.
Come. No, it's done. Come, guys.
Our stars love them, and our instructors want their teams to win. To win requires teamwork, and it brings out the competitive streak in us all.
That's a winner.
In a Speed Stars first, we invited some of our speediest stars from season 1 and 2 back to contest 2 wildcard slots on the season show. Rob Forbes solved the challenge from Kadlego Mabu and Jack Parrow. Well done. You through to Speed Star season 3.
Yes!
While Jason Goliath had the last laugh against Ruben Riffel and Richard Sturton. A 19.72. Well done! And so Rob and Jason met on track to post their lap times on the Speed Stars leaderboard.
There's no way those cars were equal. 5 seconds! 5 seconds is a...
I'm a bit nervous.
We also expanded on our popular public call to entry with activation days at VW and HiQ dealerships in Pinetown, Port Elizabeth and Cape Town. Open to anyone with a valid driver's license and no previous racing experience, the competition was fierce, with the 2 fastest times from each event qualifying for the next round.
I'm hoping to beat some of the guys.
Thanks to Volkswagen, we were also at this year's massively popular Festival of Motoring event. And we're at Zwartkops' Extreme Festival. All in all, we had over 800 public hopefuls showing us their driving skills. And it was the fastest 16 from around the country who would battle it out for the 2 slots available this season. Using a head-to-head elimination race format, our top 16 battled it out on the skid pan at Zwartkops. And in the end, it was Louis Pires and Jason Absmeier who found themselves on track, strapped into our race polos to set their time on our leaderboard. But what we all wanted to see was which of the season's celebrity guests could really drive.
That was lekker, guy.
Yo, sweating like a pig in a bacon factory.
Yes, we had some moments. A lot, actually.
I grew up on a farm, man. You know that on a gravel road, you don't take your foot off, otherwise you're going to start slipping.
I knew what I was supposed to do. Wobbly one lap.
Bit wobbly.
But there was no doubting how much our stars wanted to be the fastest.
I spun out at one stage, which is so stupid because I had this.
Our instructors, a fearless bunch. Well, what a lineup. We have 2 public hopefuls, a season 1 wild card, and a mix of rugby, music, comedy, and law. But only one of them will be SA's speediest star. It's time to go racing. Sadly, due to work commitments, Ryan and Jesse aren't able to take up their positions on the grid. But the Pigspotter and comedian Richelieu, who finished 9th and 10th, now get a shot at the title. So Cliff and Richelieu have been given a lifeline. Are they going to make the most of it come race day? Well, we are about to find out. But the time for fun and games is over. This is a real race. So we caught up with our stars in the preparation for the big day. With our finals, a Motorsport South Africa sanctioned invitational race, they provided our stars with 1 event race licenses. Now we needed to kit them out in the safety gear required for racing. So off to ATS we went, where Quobus, Mike and his team ensured they looked the part.
What do I like? Blue or red?
Oh, they still doing it like that. I thought they changed it.
Yeah. But now I have a red king.
I've got him as a medium.
Yeah.
You can do his gloves.
Yeah.
As this was the first time in an actual race, we briefed them on the rules of racing before they headed out on track to practice. What was important with this training session was to get them comfortable sharing the track with other cars and to reacquaint themselves with the circuit and our more powerful polos. So where do our stars think the action will happen come race day?
It turns out I'm even more of a rookie than I suspected, but I feel a bit like I was flying by the seat of my pants, didn't know the rules. I start braking and turn too quickly. I think I need to just be a bit patient with that, and I think I'm going to be watching a lot of YouTube videos between now and the final.
This is different because we haven't done the, sit on someone's ass, have someone sit on your ass. So getting out there for the actual finals with 6 people on the track is going to be a lot different to what we've had so far. There's a little bit more aggro into the corners. You got to take your lines a little bit more cautiously. You got to look at things ahead a little bit further than you would have, because now, hammer time, you put your foot down and things move. I lost it a couple of times on the practice session. Little back end wobble here and there.
It's totally different. It chucks you in the corners. It's just amazing. The lines are totally different from each driver. Rob in front of me is braking much earlier, so I'm on his ass. And then I have to brake earlier, so it throws me off completely. So I have to adjust my own line to not hit him.
The problem is you go against the trainer's thing also. So he's trying to take the steering, then you're like, guy, leave the steering now, please. And then you take the steering, and then he takes the steering, and then the car's confused, and then it was a spun.
No, I can't wait to get to the actual race. But that was amazing to just get around 4 or 5 laps that I got into that track was amazing. I didn't want to stop. I was looking for where to pass. I didn't really see many places to pass, but we'll see on race day. I think I can find a spot or two.
The cars is different to the cars we said the lap timing.
I learned quite a bit more with the new cars, obviously with the higher power capacity. I think it's about 20% more.
It's a bit faster, and also you have to be more patient, I think. In the other cars, you just gooi. In this car, you have to be patient. You have to slow into the corner and then patient. Let the car be ready.
Yeah, especially tabletop is going to be the test. I think it's going to be the make or break up top there.
I love tabletop. It's just flat out all the way there, and how late you can brake, actually.
Wow, a couple of big moments. In actual fact, our instructors are still undergoing trauma counseling. But our finalists are super competitive. They are keen to push their limits and quite often push way past it. And that's going to make for an exciting race, which is coming up after the break. Hello and welcome back to Speed Stars. Well, we are just moments away from our 8 fastest finalists lining up on the grid for their first race ever. And Murphys, the heavens have opened up. This is going to be a real test of their driving ability. Slipping and sliding and probably a change of race overall or two. Let's find out how our stars feel on race day. This is a practice, so don't go and do anything stupid now and crash your car and put it in the wall, because then you're not going to race in the final. That's the reality. Yeah. Use the practice session to go out slow to start. You've got 12 minutes. 12 minutes. You're going to get at least 6 or 7 laps in that time.
This is what it's all about. First practice session around Zwartkops, and it's raining.
It's very hard to smile with this thing on.
The rain is not good, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Hopefully there's no mud on the track, so I should be okay.
Scrotum is very well packed. Everything is very scary.
So with the paperwork signed and the driver's briefing done, it was time to face the crowd and a very wet Zwartkops Raceway. They actually listened, taking it very easy to start. But then things got really interesting.
I spun the one, and then I was on the grass. And then I just left the car, and then the car said to me, put on the petrol. And I put on the petrol and I was in the game again.
This is a completely different ball game altogether. Especially along that wrong straight where you start sliding, even though you're supposed to hit it full throttle. What an experience, man.
I can't take the bends. I could not go around the corner to save my life. But when I was spinning out, I'm like, okay, it's happening. And I'm like, okay, let's go with it.
When I was heading straight towards the barrier in the practice lap, and I thought, if I was on my horse, there's no way my horse would smash into this wall. But the car doesn't have a brain of itself, and you know, when you lose it, you just lose it.
I feel very nervous because I'm going out first because I had the slowest lap time. So I have an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time. I was overtaken by a girl. It's not sexist, but it's...
I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep, and I sit on silent watching YouTube videos. It's the best. I think I might just be a petrol head at heart.
You must just tell Emma that you can't bribe a guy. This is not the M1 where you want to bribe the person. Move out the way. No, you must try and overtake me. Don't tell me to move out the way and give me hazards afterwards. No, man.
Day and night, honestly. I wish I didn't come to the day practice. It sets a standard, a benchmark for you to race on. Now I try and get that same line spun out. I spun out 3 times. Crazy, it's scary. You immediately look behind you because you're facing the wrong way on a track. This is not the right way to do it.
No, it was great. It's slippery out there, but just glad I got out there and we did a bit of practice, because I think if you just go out there and race the first time, you will definitely make some mistakes.
I would imagine as long as you put enough pressure on the person in front of you, they're bound to make a couple of mistakes, and you've got to try and figure out the pinpoint, the point at which you can overtake and out-accelerate them before the next corner. That's, I think, the goal. But I've got this in the bag, though. Spinning it out there.
People are going to spin, and I think if you sit on someone's arse for long enough, you're going to make them nervous. So you can probably force a couple of mistakes here and there.
Had a moment, spun out, corrected it, came back on track, passed Rob, win.
This is only practice, right?
Yeah, true. But it still feels like a win. It's so fun.
I'm feeling nervous, bruh. Like, yeah, it's just nerve-wracking. Without rain, it's nerve-wracking. With rain, yeah, bruh.
The adrenaline boost button has been set to maximum. And as you heard, every single one of them believes they're going to win this thing. And there's a lot at stake here. Besides the obvious bragging rights, there's also an amazing trip overseas with Goodyear and Volkswagen Driving Academy. Let's take a look. The winner of Speed Stars will be racing over to Europe for a once-in-a-lifetime driving experience with Goodyear and the Volkswagen Driving Academy. So buckle up. This is it. We are about to go racing, and I am upstairs in race control. This is where everything happens. Greg Maloney, the commentator, doing his job, superstar. He is absolutely amped and fired for the race, and so am I. But can you imagine how our stars must be feeling right now? Strapped into their polos, ready to race all alone, just with their thoughts. Some are probably visualizing the track. Maybe they're even praying, but I can tell you every single one of them is absolutely buzzing with excitement. Just a reminder, it is a 6-lap handicap race. The way the handicap system works, slowest goes first. It's a staggered start based on their lap times. Our finalists think that they're starting the way they finished on the Speed Stars leaderboard. But being TV, we've thrown a little curveball. What you didn't know is your warm-up session earlier in the rain was actually a qualifying. So we're still racing handicap, but we're taking your times from your practice session in the wet to make it a fair race. With the race faces on and strapped into their cars, it was time to crown a winner. Using their lap times from the morning session as a benchmark time, our stars started in reverse order. So it was Joey who was first off the line, and because their times were so similar, he was closely followed by Emma and Richelieu. They had a small gap before Kwagga was released and into the race. And then it was our 4 fastest who had all posted very similar times. Cliff leading the chase, and then we had a switch around with our season's top 3. It was Rob now in 3rd, followed by Louis, and the man with it all to do in the rain was Jason. Well, at the end of the first lap, Joey was still holding down the lead. Oh, only just. The tricky conditions nearly catching him out. And at the back of the pack, our 2 fastest guys were pushing hard to catch Rob Forbes. Oh, and Louis loses it through the fast turn 1. Oh my word, that is a big off. I have actually never seen anyone ending up on that embankment. I don't know how he didn't hit anything. But that's gifted a position to Jason. Louis is going to need those ahead of him to make similar mistakes, or his race is run. Heading into turn 4, Emma is closing in on Joey, and Kwagga is all over the back of Richelieu. But at the tabletop, Joey goes super defensive really early, and Emma just drives right around the outside of him, taking the lead. That is committed driving. Coming down the hill to turn 8, we can see Kwagga and Cliff have now got past Richelieu, their sights firmly set on Joey. But Kwagga's defensive line into turn 8 is going to seem seriously compromised on the exit. The Pigspotter is certainly on a charge. Oh, that is so brave into turn 1 in these conditions. Kwagga politely leaves him enough space, and that's a great pass by Cliff. Joey leaves the door wide open in turn 2, and Cliff brings Kwagga along with him. They are now in 2nd and 3rd position, and after Emma, who's just up ahead. Heading into turn 4, you can just see the headlights of Rob Forbes and Jason Absmeier in the background. Their sights set on the group ahead. And it's Richelieu on ice in turn 4. Shaken, but back on track. Rob and Jason blast past, not losing too much time in their chase for the lead. Oh, that's very naughty, Emma. Changing your line under braking and squeezing Cliff. A really dangerous move in these tricky conditions. Cliff doing a fantastic job not connecting with her and spinning her around. They both pay a dear price as Kwagga is gifted first position. And then nearly loses it through turn 8. So it's Kwagga leading Pigspotter, Joey in third, Emma now in fourth, and Rob and Jason have closed right up to the back of them. This is going down to the line. Rob had a moment coming into turn 1 and then runs wide in turn 2, and Jason pounces. He really has been so smooth in these tricky conditions. Louis in 7th hasn't given up. It's turn 1 again, but this time he keeps it on track. A lap later and Emma has caught up to Joey again, and he's bringing Jason with her. Oh, Joey is clearly not liking this at all. And by the exit of turn 2, he has gone from 3rd to 6th. But out front, it's a titanic battle for the race lead. You can see just how hard Cliff is pushing. He wants this so bad. A mistake now, and the rest of the pack is ready to pounce. But it's an error from Emma. Oh, that was so close. Some really good driving and reaction skills from Jason to avoid slamming into her. He's up to 3rd, and Rob around the outside and into 4th. Just 4 corners to go, and it's Kwagga on the defensive. He runs a little wide, giving Cliff just the sniff he needs. But there's contact. We go on board with Kwagga. That is a big hit, something he's used to on the field. And there's something wrong with his car as we see him limping down the hill. So it's a Pigspotter who takes a rather controversial win, followed by Jason, with Rob leading home Emma, Joey, and a strong finishing Louis. From 1st to 7th for Kwagga, it's a cruel blow, and Richelieu in 8th.
Such good fun. A little bit of contact right at the last lap, one of the last second to last corners. But yeah, I want that. Yeah.
As around the third last corner, I took it and he came on my inside, smashed me off the road. Engine died. Had to put it to neutral. Tried to get it to start. Was flat. After a while, it started and then I came in.
So we go to race control. You want to contest it?
Yeah, definitely.
She was here. I could have just did that and then she was going to be gone.
I never thought Joey would be a law-abiding citizen. Place where you don't have to abide by the law.
But what if she dies?
So I came off and I was so busy watching behind me, I forgot to look at my corner. Got to the corner, spun out.
A lot of overtaking, but it just wasn't enough in the end, which sucks.
Wow, I actually don't even know what to say. What an unbelievable race. And I think high fives to every single one of our finalists. To have your first race in treacherous conditions like this really says a lot. I think they had great instruction as well. So thanks to all of our instructors for their hard work. The reality is that if it's raining, we don't not go to work. So this was a real showcase of driving ability. Road-going tires in road-going cars. It was actually a real great showcase for the event. But it's not without controversy. We obviously saw Cliff, Pigspotter, Pinto crossing the line first and his celebration. But this race was an MSA-sanctioned event, and as such, it falls under the rules of racing. There was an incident between him and Kwagga that was looked at by race officials, and it was deemed that Cliff gained an unfair advantage, knocking Kwagga off of the circuit, and has obviously dropped way down now in the results, which means our winner is actually another public contestant. That's 2 years in a row. Well done to Jason Absmeier. Great driving. If you look at his lap times, the fastest today in the rain, consistently the only person who did 35s throughout in that race. So well done to Jason, but he wasn't the only winner. We also had our final Predict the Winner competition of the season. Let's find out who our lucky winner was. Congratulations to the winner of our grand prize, a weekend stay for 2 at the luxurious Fairway Hotel. Breakfast is included, and they will treat you to a dinner at their Belata restaurants. You'll also receive a 3,000 Rand tyre voucher from Goodyear to spend on any Goodyear tyres fitted at your nearest High-Q Fitment Centre, as well as an advanced driving course with the brilliant team of instructors at the Volkswagen Driving Academy. What a cool prize. Hopefully we're all going to be back for another season next year, but until then, leave the racing for the racetrack and keep it safe on our roads. A massive thank you to Goodyear and to the Volkswagen Driving Academy for making this season a reality, and to Green Sky, the Fairway Hotel and Zwartkops for their support.